Happy to be here, really excited to be here, excited to see the amount of participation in the room. That's really, really encouraging. We've done this for a few years, and this is one of the best crowds we've seen on Friday night, so it's really encouraging. Just keep in mind, this is for you people. The reason that we put this on is to hope to inspire you and educate you and give you guys a chance to meet with each other and talk about best practices, learn from each other, things like that. That's why we do it. It's not to, to say you have to this or have to do that. This is the way. It's about engaging in each other and talking and making some changes to our game, and that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit about here. I'm the Director of Business Operations. I've been at Hockey Manitoba 15 years now, which is kind of crazy, but I'm also a coach. I'm a dad of two boys that are playing. My middle child is just coming into the Novice program, the new Novice program. I'm really excited about that. My other child's Adam age, so I've been coaching for a number of years and lucky to be involved in a number of different programs and initiatives and things that are led by Bill Whitehead, our president, and our board of directors has really put an emphasis on. And so just going to talk to you a little bit, I'll keep it pretty quick, about some of the things we're actually doing. So our commitment to grassroots hockey. Really, grassroots hockey for us is obviously hockey at most levels, 90% of levels probably. And it's really, our focus is on children, young children, coaches, new coaches, parents that are just getting into the game, officials just starting out their careers, coaching or refereeing their first game at Novice. So our commitment is to grassroots hockey. A commitment to our players. So one thing we're doing is we're changing the game ahead of the curve, and it's something that I'm extremely proud about, to be involved with our organization, and that hopefully you are. 2 years ago, Hockey Manitoba implemented cross-ice hockey at 5 and 6. As you all know, Hockey Canada has mandated that throughout the country. We did it 2 years ago. We felt, and our development council and folks around the province felt, that it was the right thing to do. And we're well into it now. This year, we're introducing half ice at Novice. And, initially there's some questions, it's change, it's difficult, but people seem to really be coming around to understand why we're doing it. And again, because we feel, based on analytics, long-term player development, data, inclusion, all those types of things, that it's the right thing to do. So what our branch has done is change the game ahead of the curve. In a few years, in 2019-20, there likely will be something nationally at the Novice level. So Manitoba's ahead of the curve. We're taking steps to make the game better. We're, of course, working with our partners. We're working with Hockey Canada. But if we feel it's the right thing to do for our children, then we do it. And I'm proud of that. So as it says there, age-appropriate training and environment. That's what we've done with the changes to the game. This is how we feel we've made the biggest impact to grassroots hockey, is these changes. One of the events that we run, some of you may or may not be familiar with, is our free IP face-off festivals, branch-wide. We started with a few the first year. They went to 3 or 4. Last year we had about 15 or 16 events, and over 3,000 5- and 6-year-old players participated in a free day. They got to go out and have some fun, skate, talk with their friends. Some were giving out cotton candy and freezies and all that, and I know my son remembered the freezy. I mean, the skating was cool and all that was fun, but really what that event is about is to try and, right from the start of the season, show kids how it's fun. Focus on the fun part of the game right from when they're 5 and 6. If we can grasp them then, and we can educate parents so that they understand what we're trying to do as a branch and you're trying to do as associations, if we can get that really early on, provide that positive experience early in their hockey careers, we really think we can have an impact. This year, again, we're just in planning with all the different regions and associations to run about 15 again, and again, over 3,000 players. So, our commitment to our players, I think, should be first and foremost with everything we do. It's the kids, it's the children. That's who we're doing this for. Use the other one, he says. There we go. So, the equation, which I talked about, is supported by Hockey Canada. It's supported by sports psychologists. It's supported by athletic therapists. It's supported by other branches, Hockey USA, other countries, development people that have been in the game for years. It's supported by those folks. And if we can improve physical literacy, improve their skill development, improve their decision-making abilities, which we all know is very important, especially as kids grow in the game, and improve, of course, the engagement of all players. The end of that equation is development and fun. And I think if those two things are the primary focus, we make all of our different programs and run all of our different games and levels and things like that, if we can have development and fun as the two key pieces, I think that equation's going to pay dividends. And I think I hope this next slide works. It's a video from one of our top sports psychologists, maybe in the world.
So, for example, going to school, the furniture is small because the children are small. If you look outside at the bike rack, the bikes are all small because that's who's riding to school. They're not adults. Exactly the same when it comes to sports. Smaller implements, smaller playing surface, lighter equipment, lots of time doing things because there's going to be lots of experimentation. They're learning to do something, and it's only when they start to put things together that they actually start to reach success.
Candle through the traffic, right through the traffic, keep your head up.
Children definitely want to get better. They definitely want to challenge themselves, but it's how do you really capture them so they want to keep trying? It's a challenging yet fun environment.
You get poked out and then you go get it and do 3 jumps and come back.
The scaling down aspect is vital in that process. The research clearly shows, and every parent should be looking for this, that their children are more actively engaged, which means that they have the puck with them a greater number of times. They have the puck on their stick for a longer period of time. They're interacting with the other players to a greater extent. They're having to make more decisions. They're having to control their bodily motion. In other words, all those facets of skating are so important. So the whole milieu of key performance indicators is raised.
We've been privileged to have Dr. Stephen Norris at the season opener a few years. And he's very, very well respected, and he really speaks the truth. The changes that we've made at IP and now at Novice are based on that, are based on scaling down the game in an appropriate environment so kids can learn and have fun and develop. And it's really been interesting, the feedback from when we made the changes initially compared to now. It's really growing in terms of the support, and we hope as stewards of the game and as very important people in your own communities that you can carry on that support to your communities, because there will be questions, there will be challenges. Todd talked about some of that conflict. No doubt there'll be some of that with why are we doing this and what does it mean and how does it work and that type of thing, but we believe it's the right thing to do. It's supported. And a quick question, how many of you saw or received or have seen our Novice Guidelines, our Novice video, some of the resources that we sent out? Show of hands? Most people, half the people. So on our website, we've got everything for the Novice Half-Ice program. It includes a 12-page document for guidelines so that the program can be run consistently across the province and everyone's on the same page. It includes a video, a demo of how it looks. It includes officiating procedures, because it was obviously very important to make sure that we kept our officials involved in how it's going to work. And it's really great for them because they don't have to worry about offsides and icings. They can worry about position and communication and just getting into the flow of the game. Much better for young officials. So please go to our website under that Novice page and review that. We've had great support from some of our regions that are running their own demos. So it's really been great to see. Commitment to our coaches. Through the network app, all coaches taking the certification this year will receive a free 1-year subscription to the network app. We also can get that network app for $20. I think it's $49.99 regular. So if you're a coach or if you want to do something for your coaches, I know some are purchasing that app for their coaches and providing it. It is simply the best resource for coaches in the world today. With videos, skills, drills, everything. You can share it. It's wonderful. We've tried to provide the half-ice guidelines, and we're going to provide some development zone drills to make use of our development zone in the half-ice program. And also 2 coaches on the ice are going to be able to talk to each other and communicate. Get away from the me versus you and talk about, hey, let's get together. And how can we develop the kids together, especially at 7 and 8. We're creating an initiation mentorship program, which is actually, we're training some mentors in another room right now. So what we're trying to do is provide support for those young coaches that are just getting into the game, where they can have coaches visit and talk to them about, here's some of the things, here's how to communicate effectively to a 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-old, here's skill correction, here's some basic things you can work on, and really provide more of a support mechanism for our young coaches in particular. Specialty clinics through our mentorship program led by Bob Caldwell have always been on the table. They're free. It will probably be mentioned again, and I can't emphasize enough for your association to run these specialty clinics. I took a small area games one a few years ago. It was unbelievable. Boom, I implemented it right into my practices, got the kids in a smaller area competing and playing and stuff. It was great. New this year, free skating clinics. We're going to have 8 clinics. They'll be based on application. That information will be coming out. This will be an additional clinic, free, for coaches in your area, that they can really learn, say, the 5 top things for teaching skating. Skating is the most important aspect of hockey. And it's difficult enough, I've coached at 5 and 6, to just manage your players and figure out how to communicate with them, and are they even doing the drill. So if you can provide some tools for them to understand how to teach them the fundamentals, it's going to go a long way. And hopefully we'll have those branch-wide, almost like our specialty clinics, in a few years. So that's our commitment to coaches. To our officials, referee mentorship, on-ice identification. We're going to get them some tools so they can be identified when they're on the ice as a Hockey Manitoba mentor. And they can work with the young officials on the ice, provide them instant feedback, provide them a level of comfortability while they're on the ice, take a little bit of that pressure away. We're going to increase our supervision and mentorship funding, particularly through young officials. We're looking at developing an online mentorship program, so mentors can actually go online and stay up to speed and find out new information, how they can be the most effective mentor to young officials. We are going to provide funding for grassroots officiating program grants. So for you that are running grassroots officiating mentorship programs and some different things to try and help your officials along, we're going to provide funding for that. That information is going to be coming out soon after this meeting. And we're possibly looking at developing an additional referee camp, so referees can have a little bit more ability to learn more about being a referee, especially a young referee. So we're really putting some more emphasis into our young officials. We all know we need to support those young officials. It's very difficult what they're faced with, and I think as an organization, we need to commit to that. To our parents, we've gone out to the festivals I mentioned, 3,000 children. Maybe it wasn't quite 3,000 parents, but it was in the thousands that we connected with. And I think that helped us along in developing the IP cross-ice program and it being relatively accepted, because we went out and talked to parents. And we said, this is why we're doing it. And I found that, giving a few presentations myself, most of the time, if parents understand why you're doing it, they're supportive. It's many that don't understand, or they don't know why, or who's made this decision, that type of thing. So we've now done some novice half-ice presentations. Winnipeg's done a great job, Hockey Winnipeg, of doing some demos. We've gone in there and talked to coaches and parents. So we're slowly educating everyone as to the value of what we're doing, and it's being supported. You picked up the Made in Manitoba development model. What we hope that is for parents is the model in Manitoba of how we see our players developing through the system. The more we educate our parents through this type of thing, it's going to help with some of that conflict. It's going to help get the support of our parents. One thing you'll notice a page in the program is a team funding program through Hockey Manitoba Jackpot. That's an online 50-50 program, or jackpot program, raffle program. You may have heard about it on the radio. It's kind of picking up steam. We tried it last year. Basically, teams sell tickets through a link to huge jackpots as they grow, and the team gets back 40%. So, in other words, fundraising is difficult. It's time-consuming. Who's going to do it? There's all kinds of options. Basically, you share a link through text, online, through email, etc. And if every person sells 5 tickets, you can make $500-600 back for your team to help pay for that tournament, to help pay for a family that needs support, to help pay for equipment, etc. So there's some information in the program about that and on our website. And that's our commitment to parents. Commitment to you. We're going to provide $25,000 in grassroots hockey grants. This will be a criteria-based application. It's about growing the game. It's about focus on grassroots hockey. The sky's the limit, out-of-the-box thinking on what you guys may want to do. Maybe you're doing some things already, and we want to kick back some funding to you guys to be able to help pay for those things and really help grow the game in your areas. Information to be coming on that within the next few weeks. We're going to develop the opportunity to become a Manitoba Model Association. That's going to be doing a few key things within our long-term player development model so that you can be known as a Manitoba Model Association, and we'll recognize your association as a model in Manitoba, particularly surrounding development and important changes that we're doing. We're going to continue to provide education and information sharing opportunities for you. Again, that's what this is about. We hope that you find some value, not what people are telling you necessarily, but what you get out of it and what you come out of it. And how can we help? You have to let us know. We are here to help. So our commitment to you is if you have a problem or an issue, you need support in any way, please let us know. And there's great regional people in their various regions. You can go through them. You can go right to our office. There's lots of support out there. There's more than you think, and we're very happy to help out in any way we can. You just have to pick up that phone or email us. Not that I want more emails, because there's a ton of them that come in. But for sure, please contact us anytime, and we're here to help as a branch. Coming soon, We're going to be looking at modifying our seasonal structure. That's going to be some of the discussions. You'll hear about that a little bit tomorrow during the hot stove, during some presentations. And that's going to be a task this upcoming year, is how can we increase development, participation, age-appropriate skills, balanced schedules. Evaluations will be a big part of that. Starting the season, putting children under pressure. It's like if you went to school the first day and said, we're going to give you a test, and if you do well, you're in this class, and if you don't, you're in this class. We'd never do that. But in hockey, it appears we do. So there'd be a lot of discussions about those types of changes, how we can improve the game that way. And the last one there is thinking outside the box. John Lukemeyer was here a few years ago from St. Louis. He grew their program from I don't know how much, tripled the size of their kids. And it was about them thinking outside the box. They did player drafts for young kids and made them feel important at the start of the year. They had pizza parties to start the year. All kinds of different things that are a little bit outside of the traditional method and the traditional format of our game, the way we market ourselves and sell ourselves. They just went right into it, and they tripled the size of their kids over a number of years. We'd all love to do that. It's maybe not possible, but I think if we can all start thinking outside the box, maybe you get a bunch of things you either talk to someone about this weekend or you hear a presentation. Don't be afraid to just take steps to change the game in a positive way, because those are the types of things that usually have a major impact. This is just a fun one.
And now something I found to remind you how it should be.
When you are a kid, it's easy. You are not afraid to try, to dare.
You do it just because you like it. So my advice to you is never grow up, my friends.
Never grow up, my friends. That's pretty fun. I think that's what it's all about, though. That was Ronaldinho, one of the best footballers in the world ever. As a kid, doing the same things later. He was having fun. He was being creative. The smile on his face. I think that's what we want to see our children when they leave the ice. We've allowed them to be creative and have fun. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And that's what our commitment as an organization, on behalf of our board of directors, to Grassroots Hockey, is to try and support you and to try and support parents and coaches and officials and, of course, our players to make the game more fun and to develop their skills, and hopefully we can do that together. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Scott, outlining a number of programs for us at the grassroots level that we're in the process of introducing or will be introduced. I think it was an excellent outline and shows the commitment that Hockey Manitoba has made to that particular level of hockey. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping here. Tomorrow we start right prompt.